So hello everyone. So we're gonna talk today about the next generation firewall technology labs. So what is the goal of the lab? We're gonna discuss about the FMC, which is off box manager. We're gonna talk about the sensors. One of the sensor is FTD, and we're gonna talk about the next generation IPS also. Along with that, we have the on box GUI, which is FDM. So you can see it over here. The topology looks pretty similar like this. We have a client PC2. We have FTD, which is as a sensor. We have FMC, which is the manager, and it's going towards the ISP over there. So pretty straightforward topology is there. Two interfaces are there inside as well as outside, and one of the management interfaces are going towards FTD and FMC. The respective IPs are being given over here. Let's start with the lab 2.1. This is about setting up the lab environment. Basically, you're not supposed to do this particular task, but how to do this, basically this is about download the FMC and FTD software from the cisco.com. So the task is download the FMC and FTD from the cisco.com with the valid credentials. So you must have a valid credentials to log into the Cisco website to download this respective FMC as well as FTD. Once these softwares has been downloaded, you must be installing this on the ESXi server or basically a VMware host. Once those has been installed, you are supposed to allocate the resources, the logical resources to the FMC and FTD and make the power devices up. How to do this task? I've already created a AVI file for that. You will be finding this also on the resource portal and you can check it out. So you are not supposed to do this particular task. So I'll jump to the task number 2, which is your on-box management for the sensor. So you to do this particular task, you must be getting the username and password for the RDP credentials to get into the RDP. And once you get into the credentials, you are supposed to open the vSphere client. From the vSphere client, you can log in into the server, which is 161, on top of which all the softwares has been on the iOS images or the OVF template, whatever you want to say, has been deployed. I require 3 devices as of now: client PC2, FMC as well as FTD. You make just client PC2 power on, start working. Make sure FMC, you revert to the snapshot of the FMC as well as you revert to the snapshot of FTD. You need to revert the snapshot so that whatever the previous student has done, any of the configuration, that will be wiped out. So once the FTD, you can see that it is into the queue. FTD is in progress. Just give it is a time consuming process only for the first time. So whenever you are doing an next generation firewall, only for the first time it is going to take certain amount of a time, and after that it is all going to be working fine. So if I'll move further right now, so you can see it over here. So once this has been done, you will open the console for the FTD. Open the console. As you can see that I'm going to get into this. Just wait for a few more minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes. This will prompt up a username and the password, and there you go. The version, you can see that the version that I'm using is 6.2.3. Now let's read this particular task. Cisco on-box management, which we call as FTM. Configure the FTD with the Cisco FDM, which needs to be managed locally. Log into the FTD that we have did it. Username and the password is a default one. So I'm gonna use the default username, which is admin, and default password, which is admin A capital 123. So we need to put this password. So let me put it again. So user is admin, password is admin 123, and now I'm logged in. So this is Cisco 5 Linux operating system with the version 6.2.3. It is going to ask you to accept the EULA, which is your end user license agreement. Keep on pressing the space bar so that you can reach out to the last and press again yes or enter to accept the end user's license agreement. Now it is asking to give you a new password. What is the new password? The new password will be sanfran1234. Sanfran1234. Confirm it. Sanfran1234 and done. Now once you have given these particular password, it is going to ask you that whether you want to manage this device locally or not. If we are going to manage this device locally, that means it is going to ask for what you are opening the on-box management over there. Okay. So saying this, for that on-box management to configure this FTD, it requires an IPv4. Do you want to configure IPv4? Yes. IPv6? No. Manually or DHCP? Manual. What is the IP? 150.1.7.176. It's being mentioned over here. Management IP /24 gateways.7.1. It is /24 and 150.1.7.1 is the gateway. FTD will be the fully qualified name. There is no DNS server. There is no domain. So we'll leave these two columns as it is, and then just wait for another 30 seconds. And it is going to prompt you now whether you want to manage this as a local or you want to manage this from the centralized place, which is nothing but the FMC. So I'm gonna choose right now the local. There you go. To manage the device locally. Yes, I want to manage it. Now it is going to work at the back end. Now what I'm supposed to do right now is I'll open the CMD at the back end. And I'll try to ping 150.1.7.176 and -t. So I'm able to get ping. You can see that now. In case, do remember, in case you are not able to ping this IP and you have configured everything perfectly fine, just power off this device, right click, power off and power it on again. It will start working at that particular moment. Sometimes because this is a virtual machine, sometimes it comes up and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just trying to tell you, if it doesn't work in that way, make sure that you just do power off or power on this particular thing. Now I'm going to open my FTD, FDM basically. So the IP is 150.1.7.176. Might possible it will show you a service is temporarily not working right now. Again, the solution for that is what? You just power it off or power it on. So now I'll give the, you can see that the GUI is open. The FDM, this is the name of the GUI, admin, and the password is sanfran1234. I've given the password over here and try to log in it over here. So after giving the password, which you change, and giving the management IP, we are trying to log in into the FDM GUI. There you go. It is going to show you a dashboard, a device setup over here. So you can see that the management IP is 150.1.176, which we have given. Two interfaces are there. We can see that gig 0/0 and gig 0/1. But if you closely see that, if I'll open here FTD over here, excuse me, there is a command show IP. Over here you can see that the two interfaces are there. It's already been pre-configured, like outside as well as inside. For the outside there is no IP assigned, but for the inside there is an IP assigned it over there. It's showing the outside interface configure method, it's DHCP, and for the inside interface there. So, but we don't want this IP. So what we are supposed to do? We are going to see, you can see that this is the device setup. Right over here it's showing device, and it's the three stages: configure internet connection, configure network time, as well as the smart license. So it is going to tell you that the DNS is this is the open DNS IPs by Cisco, the host name is this. I'll just quickly do next. It's going to take certain amount of time. Meanwhile, I can show you this. The client PC2 is also there. So the client PC2 IP should be 10.1.1.3 till the moment it is working up. It's already been done deploying the changes, which can take few minutes. I have a client PC2 also. I'll check its IP, client PC2. Open the console. And the password is sanfran@1234. The password will be given to you in the reference sheet, so you can use that. IP config. The IP is 10.1.1.3. It's fantastically fine. So moving back to my FTD, where is my FTD? Here, it's still testing the connection. Now the next phase it moved into. So once it is, it's a time-consuming process, basically. So now this is what your NTP, which is present over there. I'm going with the current time zone, right? If in case you want to go somewhere like Asia, we are in Asia, and over here I can change it. So whatever the locations you are, you can use it. I'm into plus 5:30, and there you go, Asia Kolkata. And I'm going to use the default NTP time servers. If you have an NTP server, you can give a manual input over there. I'm going with the default one because it's not been required in my lab as of now, and I'll do next. So this is also going to get applied. Now the question is, what is a smart license? There are two types of licenses are there. I believe I've already explained this smart license in the theoretical lecture. So we don't require here the smart license. If you just scroll it down, here there will be a 90 days evaluation period without registration. So I'm gonna use this and finish. So it is going to take again a minute or two to just save this wizard. It came up very quickly, as if you can see that. Now it is giving us the two outputs. The device is up and ready to be configured. What next? The first thing I'm going to configure what the interface is. I click onto the configure interfaces. As I mentioned earlier, the interfaces are already been done. Two interfaces, one is inside, another is outside, right? So we need to change it. Now, what are the interfaces IP? You can see gig 0/0. I'll take it as outside name. Zone is outside, and the IP is 190. And my gig 0/1 is inside, and the IP is 10.1.1. You can see on the top also there is an option which gives you a CLI. You can check here also one more time, show IP. What is the IP? So I've already told you the IPs are 192, 168, and so forth. I'm gonna change it. Outside interface IP, it is showing the type as DHCP. I'll make it static and I'll give an IP 150.1.7.190 with the /24 255.255.255.0. I don't have to configure IPv6, so I'll just skip that and press OK. So I've configured my outside interface IP. Similarly, I'm gonna configure my inside IP also. My inside and static, there is a DHCP server which is defined for this interface. So I'm gonna first delete that. Otherwise, you'll not be able to give an IP addresses over there. And the IP address that I'm supposed to give is 10.1.1.1. Why I'm giving this? Because it's being given into a task. And I did it 0 to /24, done. So this configurations has been done. If I'll again go and do show IP, there will not be any changes as of now because all the configuration what I have done is in the on box GUI itself. What I need to do is, can you see that an extra yellow mark is being added to this? So I'll click over here and it is going to ask me, do you want to deploy whatever the configurations that we have done it as of now? So I'm gonna deploy the configuration what we have done. Okay, again, time consuming process, just have patience for this. And deployment is in the progress, it's going on. Deploy now. Now you need to deploy this now, right? What we have done, we have given an IP addresses over there. So I'll go back, it's keep on deploying at the back end. It will take at least 2 minutes from here. Generally, I'm trying to say. So let's wait. So as you can see it over here, you have successfully deployed it. I've deployed this particular thing. Okay, I'm just gonna close this. One more deployment is there. Let me check. No more objects are there, but let me check over here. I have an FTD over here in my secure CRT. I'll just give the same IP, show IP. So you can see that my IPs has been pushed over here manually. 0.0 as well as 0.1 inside as well as outside. The IPs has been deployed. Okay, let's check the connectivity from client PC number 2. This is my client PC 2. Let me check whether I can ping my FTD inside interface. The IP is 10.1.1.1 and /t. Yes, I can able to ping it. The next thing is what, once I'm able to ping this, let's see what we can do. So let's see one more time. Configure the FTD. Yes, we have done. Username by default was this. After that, we changed this. We are managing it locally, and we have used all this particular IP schema which is being present over here. So once it is being done, let me check. We have already checked it. 10.1.1.1. I'm able to ping. Fantastic. Now let me check ping 150.1.7.1, which is the gateway. The gateway of what the devices that we do have. Or I'll check. Yeah, I'll try to go to the gateway. Now I'm able to ping. Now the question is how I'm able to go outside If you see the closely the diagram over here, the gateway over here in the ISP is 150.1.7.1. This is basically a gateway over here. I'm able to go. Why? Why this client PC1 is allowing, or why this FTD is being allowing client PC to move from inside to outside? Because by default, the firewalls block. Now, this is not working with respect to like ASA firewall high to low. Let me show you that also. If you go on the CLI, right, if I'll just show interface over here, and let's check, we can zoom it out. Okay, show IP, show interface. The interfaces that I'm using over here is gig 0/0 as well as gig 0/1. So you can see it over here. This gig 0/0 is my outside interface. Okay, and if I just rush to show run interface gig 0/0, okay, this command does not support show run interface. Okay, show run interface, I'll do that. Show running config interface. My 0/0 name if is outside, security level is what, 0, and we have configured an IP this, and see the same thing for inside. The security level is 0. It's not, it's unlike your ASA firewall where the security level of inside interface becomes 100, but here it is still 0. Now the question is, the two interfaces are there. Those are the security levels like 0 as well as 0 both at the time. And I'm trying to ping from my client PC to this IP 150.1.7.1. I'm able to ping. Why I'm going towards ISP? Let's understand that. If I'll go back to my FDM GUI, over here you can see that where should I go? To the policies. I'll go to the policies. There is by default an access control rule. Rule number 1 is being defined that any traffic from inside zone going to the outside zone, the action is trust the traffic from inside zone to any network to any port, zone outside, allow it. This is what the trust action has been taken. Now the another question is, Nitiz, still why it is able to ping, because the IP that we have taken here is 10.1.1.1, which is one of the kind of a private IP range. The private IPs are not routable. So can you see that the NAT is also being done? So do remember in the FDM, to configure an on-box management GUI for the FTD, the basic rule 1 from inside to outside along with that NATing. You can see inside outside NAT rule. Rule number 1, the dynamic NAT has been done for any IPv4 going towards the mapped interfaces outside, and the source address is interface. That means whatever the address is 150.1.7.190, that has been taken right away. So NAT and ACL, a kind of an access control policy, is already been done for us. That is the only reason the client PC is capable of going to 150.1.7.1. Okay, now let's do one more thing. I'll go back to the policy, or I'll go to the devices, wherever you want, and I'll try to do one route also. I'll create one route, the basic route. How to add a routing over there? I'll just click over here in the plus, that gateway. I'll create a new network for that. Name of this is ISP gateway. What is my ISP gateway? The host IP address is 150.1.7.1. Okay, so the gateway is, I created a network, ISP gateway, sorry for the typos. My interface is, it's going via the outside interface, and which network? I'll say any network. Any network should go towards the next hop, like a default route we are trying to do. Click on OK and done. I'll press OK. And again, the deployment. I need to push this, and before showing this, let me show you the show routes. Show route. So I have 2C and 2L, like these are connected network. This is directly connected interface inside, and on the outside the network is 0 and my interface is 190. So let me push this configuration now towards what? FTD. It's getting. Let me check in the GUI again. Show routes, anything being added? or else I'll go back to the FDM. Still in progress. Just keep and have patience over here. So the route has been successfully deployed. You can see that you have successfully deployed this configuration. Let me check the routes again. Show route. There should be a static default route. You can see that any traffic which is coming from here can move out over there. So this is how to do the routing on the FTD via the on-box management. Now once it's been done, meanwhile what I've done at the back, I'll go back on my client PC number 2. Okay, I'll open my client PC 2. Where is that? Yes, I have meanwhile it was getting deployed, I tried to ping 8.8. Which is nothing but the Google DNS, ping 8.8.8. So it was showing us RTO. So the moment it gets deployed, the default routing has been deployed. When I started pinging it again, you can see that over here, it started pinging. Now that means I haven't created any rule, nothing has been created. If I'll try to open my www.google.com, you can see I am able to reach where the internet. How? Why? Because I've already told you there is a default NAT policy which is making the private IP to go towards public, as well as there is a default access rule from inside to outside, from inside zone to outside zone. Trust that traffic. That's why we are able to reach to the internet. So this is our task number 1, which we are task number 2 that we have done it over there. Now we'll do the task number 3. Thank you.